right. So we've learned how to solve our systems of equations, but one of the most important things you need to know is how to write equations. Okay. So we're going to write these equations, then we can set them up and solve them. So one of the questions that it asks you on your homework is about angles. It talks about complementary angles. Complementary angles are angles that add to 90. I'll write that up here. Add to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles add to 180. All right. Now, what do we know? Well, we know the two angles are complementary. We also know that the smaller angle is 114 degrees less than 3 times the larger angle. I didn't write the question up here. It asks basically, what are my angle measures? Now, here is what I like to do first on these problems. It seems like a silly step, but then whenever my students use this step, when they get stuck, it always seems to help. So the first thing you need to ask is, what are we trying to find? And what do we want to name those? So what are the angle measures? So that's what we want to know. So I'm going to say that my x is my small angle measure, and my y is my large angle measure. Okay, so if you have these, now we should be able to write two equations with x and y using the information that we have. Well, what's the first piece of information we have? Well, it's that these are two complementary angles. They add up to 90. Well, if they add up to 90, then if I take my first one plus my second one, it should equal 90. So what's the next piece of information I have? Well, I know that the smaller angle is 114 less than 3 times the larger angle. So my smaller angle, x, is 114 less than 3 times the larger angle. (114 less than 3 times my larger angle). So now I have my system set up. Now all I need to do is solve. Now I can use substitution or elimination. I'm going to use substitution because x is by itself. So I'm going to shove this in here. This should be 204 divided by 4. Should be 51 degrees. Okay, make sure you saw all of that. So that is my larger angle. Now that all that's left to do is find my smaller angle. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to shove this y in. I think I'm just going to shove it in here. Plus 51, equals 90. So this should be 39, I believe. So my smaller angle is x, it's 39 degrees. My larger angle is y, and that's 51 degrees. All right, let's try another one. So I've got this event, and there's 2 ticket prices. There's general admission prices for $4, reserve seats for $5.50. Now, at the end, when they count the tickets, they count the money, they say, hey, we have this many tickets and we have this much money. So what I want to know is how many of each ticket type were sold. So again, I'm just going to write x is general, the number of general admission, and y is the number of reserved admission. Okay. Now, generally what happens in these problems is you wind up with two totals. One of them is a weighted total, and one of them is just a basic total. So I'm just looking at the number of tickets. So if I'm just looking at the total number of tickets, I can just say the number of these tickets plus the number of the other tickets equals the total number of tickets. But if I'm looking at money, now I have to weight these by their price. So if I want to know how much money I made off of general admission tickets, I need to take my X and I need to multiply it by this $4. Same thing with the reserve seats. I need to take my reserve seats, multiply them by $5.50. Add those up, and we get our total price, or our total receipts for the day. So there's several different ways we could solve this. I'm going to do this with elimination. So I'm going to multiply all of this by -4. I'm not sure what that is, so I'm just going to double check real quick. All right. So I'm going to add these straight down. This eliminates. Okay, that's important for elimination. I'm going to get 1.5y equals negative 472.5. Okay, almost done. Sorry, this should be positive. Divide by 1.5. Y equals 315. Okay, so what is Y? That's the number of reserved tickets. So now all I have to do is find the number of general admission tickets. So I'm going to plug this Y in right here. X plus 315 equals 1,181. So 1181 minus 315 equals 866 general admission tickets. So this is the number of general admission tickets. This is the number of reserve tickets. What I think is the trickiest problem on your homework is this, because we're not so used to dealing with percentages of chemicals in a solution as we are with dealing with money. So this one I feel like confuses some people a little bit more. So what I want you to imagine here is we have one beaker that has 11% solution. So pretty diluted solution compared to the other one. And then we've got this fairly concentrated solution that has 41% of this chemical. We take them and we pour them together. Now, when we pour these together, the resulting solution is more concentrated than this one, and it's more diluted than this one. So that shouldn't surprise us. The concentration is 26%, somewhere between those two. And we wind up with 66 ounces of this solution. Now, what it wants to know is how many ounces were there of the original and the more concentrated solution. Okay, so X is going to be my ounces of diluted, and the other one is going to be my ounces of my concentrated solution, or at least more concentrated. So again, if this is the ounces of this, and this is the ounces of this, and this is just the total ounces, well, then this is pretty simple. I just say X plus Y equals 66. The ounces of the first one plus the ounces of the second one equals the total ounces. Okay, that one's pretty simple. Now, the harder part is figuring out how to write this other one that has to do with the concentration of the thing. Now, let's say this is concentration of alcohol or whatever. So If my final solution has 26% concentration of alcohol, then the volume of alcohol will be 0.26 times 0.66, or not 0.66, times 66. Because if it's 26% of this, then it's just 0.26 times 66. So that's how much alcohol is in here. Well, how much alcohol is in my diluted solution? Well, it's 11% of X. Well, how much is in the concentrated solution? Well, it's 41% of Y. Okay, let me go ahead and multiply this out, get us a nice friendly number here, 17.16. So there's 17.16 ounces of alcohol in our final solution. So let's solve this. I'm going to go ahead and solve this with elimination. So I'm going to multiply both sides here by negative 0.11. So I get negative 0.11x, negative 0.11y equals let's see, 6 times 7.26, negative 7.26. All right, we add this up, this cancels. We add this up, we get 0.3y. We subtract this, we get 9.9. We divide by 0.3. 3 is 33. All right, so let's take this and shove that back into my equation. So we have 66 total. We have 33 ounces of the concentrated solution. So in this case, this is a coincidence, but we wind up getting the same number of ounces in both. So whenever you have these solutions that you're mixing, one of the equations is just the total number of ounces of just liquid. This is the total ounces of alcohol or whatever is in your solution. Okay, and we find that by weighting each solution by its concentration. All right, so I hope that helps you on these application problems.